Welcome to Yap University. So, my friend suggested that I get on live because I'm yapping about human rights over here. So, if y'all are ready to start talking about human rights and how we can end the genocide in Palestine today, this is the stream. So, if everybody is pro-Palestine in the chat, give us a Palestinian flag, some watermelons, some like doves and all that. I mean, even a blackbird, right? If y'all are some Vikings and all that. So here's the deal. I'm trying to make a podcast soon, but everybody's all yapping, right? It's all yap, yap, yap. Everybody's yapping in the atmosphere. We all just want to be heard. But the real deal is we all got to focus on what's most important right now, which is freedom, right? Freedom from slavery. We all been enslaved for a long time. We all been enslaved from within, the mind, the heart, the community. And basically, we got to pull back the layers of slavery that we participate in on a daily basis. So for number one, let's start off with a hot topic, right? Taxation is theft. All right, I'm gonna bring that up because I saw a post over on Instagram the other day where, we indigenous out here. I'm indigenous. I'm Mexica. I'm Maya. Hey, what up? Free Palestine. So I'm indigenous. And so I'm a part of the indigenous Instagram. There was a post where some people were talking about, it ain't that different what we were doing back then with our empires when our empires were getting the indigenous people to give up their goods and this and that. And by force. Granted, the tools of force were different versus what we have now. And so I basically just said taxation is theft as a comment to that. Oh, we voting for God out here. I don't think Trump's gonna be fixing anything. Now anyway, they said who's gonna build the roads and the this and that and the infrastructure as a response to taxation as theft? And it's just ridiculous because it's like, the point was missed there. We don't need to be stealing from each other and forcing each other to pay for roads together. We as a collective need to work together on a peaceful level to attain the very basic needs as a collective family. Because as it is right now, we're living in a cult atmosphere. You can look at my profile picture, actually. It's right there. So if you want to see my face, it's right there, buddy. And I don't think I see a profile picture for you either. So those are very, very bold words, my friend. Except you ain't my friend, buddy. You ain't my pal, guy. So yeah, but I don't care. But does anybody else have some tea we can discuss today? And besides, buddy, you wouldn't want to see my face. I'm very maloclused. I'm not that attractive to look at, okay? Unless, you're into that. Unless you're into looking at Muppets, I look like a Muppet. A human Muppet. It's like that song, Are You a Man? Am I a man? Or am I a Muppet? Am I a Muppet of a man? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's the tea. So that's from the Muppets movie from maybe 2012. It's a silly movie, but yeah. Okay, yeah. So Mr. GovCorp Watch, Mr. Anderson, GovCorp Watch over here in the chat. Okay, so we only have two. So we have Ariana and we have GovCorp Watch. Shout out. So he basically is like the Neo when it comes to the Matrix, but in terms of the legal system. He actually is a programmer, for one, but two, he has been actively showing that the US government is a slave system, even with using their own legal nonsense to free himself from it. He is being treated like that. So yeah, what's going on in Palestine? GovCorp Watch is asking that. He has a channel. I totally recommend you go and check him out, his channel, because he talks about the legal enslavement that we are all part of, down to the very, our birth certificates. When we're born in the hospital, we are legally enslaved from birth. So that's a big reason why the government is able to get away with making everybody property, making up all these nonsense laws, forcing everybody into handcuffs, this and that. But yeah, so with what's going on in Palestine right now, they're lining everybody up like they did back in Auschwitz. So we're at a very, very pivotal moment when it comes to dealing with the genocide. Okay, you're the only one watching now. It's just me and you. Unless you exited. Are you still here? Okay, so it's just me. It's just me and you. Okay, it's just me and you now. Everybody left. Nobody cares. They were all bored. They didn't want the tea. They were like, oh, this is too real. Are there? I see only one. So this is what it feels like when I'm watching other people's live streams and they're like, oh my gosh, nobody's here. Nobody's listening to us. I can't see anybody talking. I am now on the other side of that. And I am becoming a boomer live for the world to see. Okay, so if you have your doobies, spark up. We're going to do a prayer, a silent prayer, because I ain't going to do a prayer out loud. Okay, what you think? I don't know if I'm going to leave this live. This is kind of rambly. It's like, I like that people voted when they got here, that there's that they participated in the vote that I left there. I got 8 people that voted. 50%. So 4 people said hi, 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 hi. And then only 2 people said hi, 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 hi. Yeah. If you got your doobies, everybody, hit up now. It's 420. I mean, it's not really 420, but it's 420 somewhere. Yeah, I guess I might as well treat this as like a public, like a radio program, right? I didn't bring my notes, so I just gotta talk on the fly, I guess, about what's most important. The bomb pop. Yeah. The freaking bomb pop video. I'm not going to change it, but Pixabay wouldn't accept the GIF art. They said it was too offensive. So even though the GIF art is it's a form of political activism, they didn't like that. They didn't like me basically saying that the bomb pop, that Israel basically, is party to what the US has been doing in terms of their form of mind control when it comes to producing bomb-shaped, bomb-flavored. It probably is bomb-flavored, honestly. Probably. I mean, with all the chemicals they put in there, bomb-flavored. Dude, that would be a good parody. To do a parody of because we have warheads, right? We have the candy that's a warhead. Warheads, bomb pops. Like, we should do a parody of candy that actually tastes like, warheads and stuff. If there isn't already a parody of that, there needs to be. So I think what I would do here, yeah, Marca popsicles. I think if I were to do, because I'm doing this right now, this live for anybody, because I think I'm going to leave this up afterward, I guess. What I'm going to be doing with this lives are ensuring that in this world of yapping, with everybody yapping into the void, that there could at least be one voice of reason, and that I can attempt to be that voice of reason as much as possible. My aim is to be, you know, as clear as possible in terms of channeling what I need to hear and what we all need to hear. Yeah, for the next generation, so that we can be free in this enslaved paradigm that we have all accepted living in. Okay, so I'm gonna walk downstairs now. Let's see what time it is. So today is Wednesday. So that means the day of the week that it is in Dene, Bizarre, is 𝓨𝓪𝓷𝓪𝓱𝓪 𝓚𝓃𝓃 𝓨𝓪𝓷𝓪𝓱𝓪. That's funny. So a bunch of people that hopped on the live were people that had the notifications on, and they were like, what the heck? And then they jumped off. It's just fun to see as a person that's doing this for the first time. So yeah, I'm gonna try to make some more music in the near future, because I'm gonna be wrapping up the mini Halloween album. So we got 9 more days of October. I want to get this last song done a couple days before the eve of Halloween. There we go. Getting some socks on. It was funny that somebody showed up instantly and started calling me a coward for not showing my face. I thought that was so funny. I was like, boy, I don't know what you doing. This is the internet. Have you not heard of the internet? Have you not been on the internet since the beginning? People can do what they want on the internet. Besides, you can see my face, dummy. It's just funny more than anything, honestly. So I think that's something I'm going to be kind of excited about. Like, a little bit is, I mean, like, in a little bit of a 𝓨𝓪𝓷𝓪𝓱𝓪, because I've already been having so much 𝓨𝓪𝓷𝓪𝓱𝓪 behind the scenes. So it's going to be interesting to see people, you know, as they always do in the internet, show up to express themselves in those sorts of way, where they're projecting nonsense. So it's going to be very fun to see what kind of nonsense people are going to be spewing here and there. Mainly because it's like, you know, I feel that I've seen and heard a lot of the worst when it comes to being an Indigenous person that's pro-Palestine and so on and so forth, and having gone through my own situations. It'll be very fun and interesting to see, because it's less about me and it's more about like whatever is going on in their psyche at that point in time. I'm like, unless I'm actually being like totally unreasonable, then yeah, but do my best to not do that. I'm actually just gonna scoop the litter box while I'm at it. What do you guys think? You can scoop the litter box on a live stream. What do you guys think? To scoop or not to scoop? That is the question. This is so I'm live today yapping about ending genocide. So if anybody here in the chat is pro-Palestine, go ahead, fill it up with doves, Palestinian flags, watermelons, inverted red triangles specifically, so on and so forth, because that's the symbol of the resistance, la résistance. We live now in the times where people kind of salivate over. People are like, oh yes, the French Revolution, how glorious, how romantic, right? People think, oh, the 70s, what a time to be alive, where people were fighting for peace or whatever they were doing back then. And boy, oh boy, those of you in the chat, I just found out recently, I wish I knew about it sooner, but I didn't. Those of you in the chat that don't know, basically, Vietnam, the Vietnamese fighters inspired the Palestinian resistance fighters in what they're doing now, in terms of having built a intricate system of underground tunnels. And so on this recent journalistic expose of that in Vietnam, there was a journalist that got to at least see part of one of the tunnels, but obviously they couldn't see any more than that. So that was pretty cool recently to see that connection. And that is something that the Vietnamese are very proud of, which, you know, like, as we should all be. At this point, every little bit of information in terms of how we as a collective who strive to be free and who are actually committed to it now more than ever, is very important for us to all take note of the ways that worked, so that we can continue to apply them. So that's something I'm very interested in talking a little bit more about. So excuse me 1 minute. So for example, this is another thing I think about quite often. Like, how often do you think about the Roman Empire? You know what I'm saying? Like, you guys heard about that meme, right? That was a meme, like, in the past year where, I guess, like, guys would be asked, how often do you think about the Roman Empire? And it turned out a lot of them actually thought about it quite often. But it makes sense, because a lot of what we have in the US is greatly descended from that. Like, a lot of what we do is all tied into that. Like, even the spilling the beans thing, I found out recently that the phrase spilling the beans goes back to, like, the Greek or Roman Empire and whatnot. So it might have been Roman. I don't remember exactly. It must have been Roman, right? It's probably Roman. I'll just say probably, okay? Don't check me on that. Correct me on that. But yeah, it goes back to a time when they'd be voting for their parties using beans. So people would try to cheat with the beans and all that. So I guess the phrase has to do with, you know, somebody accidentally spilling the beans and potentially using that as an opportunity to lie and to rig the vote. So yeah. Yeah. So which slave master are you guys voting for this year? You gonna vote for the red one, the blue one, perhaps the green one? I hear the green one is doing quite well this year. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna wrap up this live stream at 22:22. I don't know how to do that. How do I do that? How do I wrap it up? Oh gosh. Okay, I want to do it right on time. Wait, how do I do it? Oh, I think I pressed the X. Okay. All right, bye.